So what do solar companies, hotels, security companies, and health clinics all have in common? Well, they can actually all use each one of these 5 tools with AI to save time, money, and energy. So we're about to go through the most common requests that I and my team get at Infinite Growth for building AI systems for businesses. Now, this is not going to be a video in detail showing you how to create each one, because YouTube is full of these tutorials and walkthroughs of going through systems to build complicated APIs and workflows. Now, that's important, but more important than that is actually learning how to apply these tools and systems to businesses. Now, whether you're a business owner and you're looking for ways to implement AI, you're a consultant and you're trying to understand better how to price these things out and how you can build value with them, or even if you're just like me and you're curious as to how AI actually works and how it can be put into things like businesses to actually make an impact, well, this is for you. So if you're one of those 3 groups, stick around, hit the subscribe, and I'm excited to show you what I got for you here today. Now, the real builds, actually going in and making something like this for a client, for your business, gives you a much deeper understanding of how these things actually work and how the value is actually created. So I'm going to go through and show you the 5 most common and most requested builds and systems that me and my team get at Infinite Growth. And by the end of the video, you'll have a pretty good grasp of how they actually work and what each one of them are, and I'm actually going to show you an active example of each one of these. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Marshall Tootin, and I help business owners and consultants and people who are just curious about AI learn about the most recent technology and opportunities for using AI without having to learn and build technical skills. So if you fall into one of those groups, go ahead and give a like and subscribe here on the video. I'm excited to show you some really practical examples of using AI in business right now. So as I go through these 5 systems, you're actually going to see that they kind of build off of each other. They don't all necessarily need each other, but it's useful in understanding their application to see how they kind of build and make each other better, make each other more effective. So pay close attention to that if you really want to have a good understanding. So let's jump right in. The first thing we're going to go through is workflow automations. So the actual tools being used are things like N8N, Make, and Zapier. You can look all of these up, but the basics of how this works is that they're going to save time through streamlining operations and processes. It's going to help minimize errors in a business, the things that are most error prone or have the highest possibility of having information get changed or had an error through that transfer. It's also going to reduce costs by eliminating manual work. So manually inputting information, having a complex operation that uses multiple systems, multiple tools to connect to each other, and multiple teams. These are the best places to use workflow automations because you can start to automate the work that needs to be done. Now, this doesn't mean that in every case you actually need to remove the human from the position or the process. In fact, it usually means that you need to kind of heighten the senses of the person involved with the process to make sure it happens right. But it's definitely, when done right, going to save a lot of time, money, and energy. So I'm going to give you an example of that right now. Here is a system that my team has built to help us keep up to date with AI news. So this looks really complicated, right? And it might look so upfront, but this is an N8N workflow automation. And here's exactly what it does. It's triggered at 6 a.m. and 1 p.m. every single day. And what happens is that it's going to go through and it does what's called a web scrape. It's going to go through these 4 sources of AI news, and it is going to find certain types of stories and updates. And then it's going to merge them all into one place and then run them through a system that actually summarizes those news pieces, puts them into a script, and that script becomes a voice-generated audio file that then gets sent to me and my team's email. So whereas in the past, somebody would have had to go in, do a bunch of research, find the right stories, see which ones they've looked at before, which ones are new, send them out, research on it. That's a lot of time and energy. Well, this is literally done all automatically. You can choose all of the news sources you would want, and then it goes through and it's going to actually find what's new that we can use to then go ahead and apply to the business and stay up to date on everything AI, because things move really, really fast in this industry. So here's our second system, agentic platforms. So what do we mean by agentic platforms? Well, agentic, the word agentic means that it's simply a platform in which you can build an agent that connects to AI to be able to do a task or complete a workflow. Now, the reason this is a little bit different than just a workflow automation is that these tools are actually going to go and connect in to an LLM like an OpenAI or a Claude and be able to fulfill tasks and actually act upon documents and upon files. So Retail, Vappy, and VoiceFlow are perfect examples, and I've built multiple solutions with my team using these tools. What they do is they're going to help handle support and service inquiries instantly. So many businesses need this. Automate sales and onboarding with conversational interfaces. So having a conversation through an onboarding process for a client or for maybe somebody in your team, and being able to make something like that significantly faster and require a lot less hands-on work from humans in your team. And then, of course, enhance accessibility for users and staff. So these are things like chat bots. These are things like voice AI bots. Every single one of these tools can be used to fulfill what would have been needed and required a human. And now you can literally just completely automate them. In almost every sense, you're going to be able to have a system that does what a human does and opens up time and energy for you as a business owner to get more done and to create more value for your clients. So here's an example of one that we built recently. I've removed the exact information for the client, but this was for a wellness center. So we created this through Vappy, which is a voice AI platform. And what it does is you're able to give it a prompt, to give it directions as to how to deal with customers, what types of files to update, how to interact with the customer, and how to really go about the discussion and go about this call that is coming in. And what you do with a build like this is you connect it to a workflow, to an automation. So here's another N8N automation. It's not related to this one here, but what we did is we took a VoiceFlow build, which is actually a chatbot online for our client. And this chatbot is interacting with thousands and thousands of clients every single month. And these clients give it their information, they ask it questions, they're trying to get information about booking a ticket. So this workflow is triggered by the Agentic platform, VoiceFlow, sending it information from this conversation. And then it's going to go ahead and it's going to pull out the information for ticketing, for seasonal availability. All of these steps that need to be taken are going to be done automatically based off of the information that the actual client gave VoiceFlow. Okay, so the third tool is custom and domain-specific GPTs. So what does this mean? Well, in OpenAI, ChatGPT, you can create something called a custom GPT. In Claude, these are called projects. In Perplexity, they're called spaces. And what you do is you can go in and you can send documents, files, information about your company, directions, and you can upload them into the GPT, into the AI, and it's going to keep that information as a memory of sorts. And then every time you go and you want to get information from the custom GPT, you'll ask it a question or you'll give it a prompt, right? And it's going to go in and it's going to pull from this custom and targeted information to then create an answer back for you. And boom, now you have your custom answer based off of your documentation, based off of your brand, based off of what you specifically want it to be an expert on. So picture a custom and domain-specific GPT as a more rapid and more specialized AI for your business or for your topic. Now, custom GPTs are great because they deliver tailored expertise for unique businesses and unique topics, and they improve the relevance of the content and of the answers you actually get to what you're looking for. So it helps businesses that have brands, right? Every business has a brand, but it helps businesses stay more on target with their brand and get answers that are going to be able to be more in line with what you're looking for. And then it also helps simplify complex tasks. So you can give it analytics, you can ask for summaries, you can look to a custom GPT to help you draft information and reports. These are some very good uses of a custom GPT, and building them just does take a little bit of skill. It takes some focus to know on what exactly you need to feed the GPT to make it work. Now, custom GPTs do have some downsides. They can have security risks. Anybody with a link or anybody that can go to the GPT store can see your custom GPTs unless you only make it for you. So if you have a business where you have a team and you're trying to create something that can be used as a whole team, it can be a little bit limiting. And that security risk is that your information can be accessed by anybody using the GPT. Also, you have monthly costs that are associated with just that one model or that one feature, like your OpenAI or your Claude or your Perplexity, right? So what my team and I have actually done is we've developed out a tool that we are going to be launching in November of this year. And its purpose is fourfold. One, your data stays yours. You can create custom intelligence and custom AI builds that are going to be able to keep your data separate from any big LLM company and keep it private for you. The next thing it's going to do is you don't have to choose from only OpenAI or Claude or Gemini or Perplexity. You can actually use any model you would like, plug it into this system, and build a custom AI using that model. So if you like how Claude goes about it, you like how Gemini goes about it, they're all different in how they get their information and how they present it. So you can take and create a custom GPT around any model you want in the same platform. And you can also create specialized, we call them AI advisors, that are going to be able to be, that understand your industry, your market position, and your growth challenges. So because of that, because you're going to be able to build all of this proprietary and private custom AI information in one place, it's significantly more secure. So you can deploy your confidential information and processes without having to give it over to an LLM, to a big company, to potentially become compromised. So like I said, this is getting launched in November, but here's some good examples of some templates that we actually already have built out. Everything from a customer support expert to a code review assistant to a sales and lead qualifier is all built out specifically for you to be able to access information and expertise related to those exact fields. And you can immediately go in, create your own advisor. You can give it directions, a description, instructions, download as much knowledge base and add as you want. So you can literally just choose the exact model that you want to be able to go in and create a custom GPT with without having to go pay OpenAI or Anthropic or another platform your monthly fee in order to create it. You can just connect directly to it. And that's what this platform is built for. So check out the link here in the description. You're going to be able to gain early access to this tool once it's released in November. Simply just go in, fill out this form with your email address, ask for any other information that you'd like to get, and then we'll make sure that you're on the list to access this as soon as it's available come November so you can create these for yourself on the platform. We're really, really excited about this offer. So the next system is a knowledge management system. Now, we can classify this as a RAG system, which I'm going to explain here shortly. This uses vector databases, so Supabase, Pinecone, and Postgres. All of these connected are going to be able to help you create a second brain. This is how it's usually characterized in the AI space, as a second brain. So what we mean by second brain is that you're going to be able to create a place where massive amounts of data can be held, and then you can actually access different kinds of information and pull them all together to be able to answer questions, create workflows, build them into other systems. And it becomes a significantly more useful tool when you create a knowledge management system like this.
So something that makes these systems really special is that instead of just having to rely on documents that you upload, you can actually use this system with dynamic data. So what do I mean by dynamic data? Well, imagine active chats with customers, updated information coming in and out of the computers of the business and of the system. And this includes everything from recent form submissions to recent changes in the actual database. You can go in and pull that information moment by moment. So you could go ahead and ask a question to the system about pricing, 1 minute, and then you could ask it an hour later. And if pricing has changed in those documents, in that data, then it's going to actually give you a different answer, because between those questions, between asking the brain that question, the actual answer has changed. So this makes it really, really useful for businesses who have information and things about products, things about their offer that are changing and are updating constantly. And here's a visual example that will help you understand it a little bit better. Imagine somebody's asking a question about a flu strain and symptoms they have. So they're going to ask this question, and the retrieval part of this process is going to go into the vector database, into that knowledge base, pull out the information from all the different sources that it can, and combine them into relevant sources, and then look at the query, look at the question, and build and generate the actual answer based off of that information. Now remember, if this information changes at any point and the same question is asked later, they could get a different answer. That's what makes a RAG system, retrieval augmented generation system, a significantly more dynamic system than just a custom GPT, because it's able to adapt over time. And here's what it looks like in a workflow. So an end-to-end workflow, you could go ahead and connect an agent to an OpenAI model that is going to be able to go in, access the vector database information, pull back the proper information, and then generate an answer. So this is what it looks like being built into an actual workflow. And our final solution here is sales and marketing AI. Now there's a lot of tools that fall under this umbrella. So I just listed some of them here, and I'll give you an example of one here called Instantly AI. So what these platforms are doing is they're actually built to maximize a sales and marketing process. Now, of course, you can use these workflows, RAG systems. You can use all of these processes to boost sales and marketing. But these sales and marketing tools are used to automate campaign management, reporting, enrich data and leads, and boost conversion rates with actual insights and information specifically made for a sales and marketing process. And here's an example with one that we've been using called Instantly AI. So what Instantly AI does is it makes it easier for us to go in and manage and create email campaigns for our clients and use AI to directly get accurate reporting and information on how to improve those campaigns. So it's very interesting because there's a lot of platforms that will help you manage an email campaign. But what's happening with Instantly AI is that they've just plugged AI into the system so that you can have better results and you can warm up email campaigns faster and you can understand your analytics a little bit better and you can get specific answers based off of your goals. This is how sales and marketing AI tools work. It's usually something that already exists that AI has been plugged into to make it more useful and to make it easier to use and to get your results as a business. So there you have it, guys. These are the most common requests we get, from workflow automations to agentic platforms to custom domain specific GPTs, which is why we built our custom tool here, and RAG systems, knowledge management, and sales and marketing AI.
Because the thing is that businesses are not buying AI, and consultants shouldn't be selling AI. And if you're just curious about AI, I mean, AI is not like the answer to everything. The answer to business problems and the answer to creating good solutions is understanding from a bird's eye view what problem you're actually solving. And with each one of these tools, they progressively build on each other to be able to help you save time, money, and energy. And of course, what I do and what my team does is customize to each situation and each business. So if you're a business owner or consultant and you're wanting to understand how you can actually apply these systems or similar ones in your business to be able to save time, money, and energy, well, there's actually a link here in the description where you can tell us a little bit more about your business and set up a time to discuss how this might work for you. And if you're a consultant, you're wanting to learn more about how to actually do this and how to approach it in a way that's effective for your clients, well, subscribe and definitely check out some of the previous videos I've made about these topics. Really excited to have you guys here. If this has helped you in any way, share it with your business partners, share it with your friends, share it with your associates. And we'd love to see you here every single week where I talk about how you can apply these tools to have a measurable impact on your business, how you can create systems that are going to be effective for your clients. And if you found use in the Strategic Intelligence Lab being launched in November, definitely get on the list early for that so that you can have first access and build it exactly the way that you need. We'll show you how to set it up for yourself or for your business. So thank you for being here. Subscribe and comment and tell us about what problems you're facing so that I can make more and more tailored information to help you in your specific situation and in your business. So we will see you next time. Until then, keep killing it.